Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of our 4th Age Total War Elven Realm campaign. I have passed a couple of seasons since the last video and things are still in something of a status quo, but that means we have an opportunity here. Of course, in the west, or the west of the Greenwood, we've got Old Fort under siege by the Bjornings. They are building tons of rams, so they're going to be attacking us at some point here with a lot of breaches, so we'll have to wait for that to unfold. What we will not have to wait for, though, is to attack Dale itself. We've got our own rams and towers built, and we're ready to go. Inside, they've got the king himself, Arnbrand of Dale. He is going to be leading a unit of dragon slayers as very heavy cavalry, but I don't really like their odds in the confines of the city street, especially where we've got 4 spear units here. They've also got some black spears, which are pretty tough, and these Hearthmen of Dale, which are a real potential problem, but no one has decided to turn this into an open field battle. So the main challenge here will be, first of all, getting over the walls. So let's see how that goes. So as you can see, Dale has some pretty strong stone walls, and it's got some pretty strong towers to go along with it, but they don't have a lot of men to cover all this territory. So I'm sending it what I think is the weakest portion here. We've got a pretty long stretch of wall without a tower. We've got one here. We've got, of course, the gatehouse, but we've got both of our siege towers heading at a couple of different points on the wall with the hope of making it to those walls. Now here they've got the Hearthmen of Dale, and so that's bad news, of course. We can maybe at least distract them. I've got 2 units here. I'm kind of sacrificing, I guess, my Sylvan axes. But we do have the threshold troops. The main goal is just to get some units up on the walls and capture a bunch of towers. So we'll see if they let us do that. Alright, we made it actually to the wall without loss, and the Hearthmen are coming for us. So let's get all of our men and run them in this direction. I think what I'll try to do is, if we can outrun them, and they may catch up because we've still got some axes making it up the tower here, we're going to try to get around and get on the other side of them somehow, if possible. We do have another gate over here. The problem, of course, is the Hearthmen are going to just follow us and recapture the towers, so we need to get a unit on the other side. Alright, our threshold troops have made it up the towers on the other side of the wall. The Hearthmen now have to make a decision. Do they keep pursuing these units around the walls, or do they come back and defend the gate? Let's just run over here and grab that really quick. And we're starting to get our men through the gate. Of course, our cavalry is not going to be much use here, being light horse archers, but they can harass, I guess. Let's move them over in that direction. And we have a lot of archers, but as usual, I want to lead with my bodyguards. These guys are going to be really important for taking care of the general. Okay, we'll just keep these hearth troops busy. We'll just keep running the threshold troops back and forth. Up here, of course, it kind of would be nice to have some archers because we could be shooting them, but they're taking damage from the towers that we've captured, so that's fine. Looks like the Hearthmen have decided to move down rather than hang out on the wall, so we'll just have all these towers back. And I'd really like to take out this general as quickly as I can. So let's get shield wall up. As you can see, we've got a mostly archer army here, so that is going to be something of a problem, maybe. I think maybe I can bring the infantry down. Okay, here we go. They're charging right into our bodyguard unit, our secondary one. No losses yet, but this is a really strong cavalry unit, as it does appear to be. And they're soon going to be backed up by black spears, as well as those hearth troops. Where have they gotten off to? Ah, okay. So we'll have to keep our eyes open for them. They may try to come over and deal with our axemen. Wow, there goes the enemy king already. Not quite. Just a little fake out from the game camera. Here's one of our bodyguards hitting the dust, but he's back on his feet. Alright, we're going to lose the enemy king soon here. I don't think we actually saw him drop there. He goes one more. Nope. Okay. He's got a few hit points, this guy, apparently. Let's now move our axemen around to flank. There we go. For real this time. Taking him out. And bodyguards are the ones that I'll want engaging the hearth troops. We'll sandwich them with the axes. And our archers are running around a little bit crazily because they can't find a place to stand that's not kind of in melee range. Alright, let's keep everybody back. We'll just deal with this fight. Hearthmen and Dale have actually taken some losses already. And they're a little bit tired. We're going to hit them in the back here. Their king has been killed just a few meters away. Wavering. Great. The only thing now to worry about is javelins from those black spears. And the Hearthmen are broken, but nowhere to run, so we'll have them down in a matter of seconds. And our archers are pulling those black spears toward us. They really don't want to engage, but when they take some losses, they do start to pull back and reconsider. We'll get them into melee range, and then we should take them out pretty easily. Also bringing horse archers around to the other side of the plaza here. We'll, again, try to get some casualties on some of these units and draw them towards us one way or the other. Maybe I'll move over somewhat closer to this unit, just to be in a position to threaten. It'd be nice if we could make them rout without throwing javelins at us. Alright, let's take the bodyguards. There they go, routing already. Maybe we can cut them down before they get back into the blue square area. Yeah. Wow, gone very quickly. Let's move some archers up. And with that, the Black Spears do want to start answering to that. Of course, they're shooting at my cav. That's the best target for them. I really hate losing the cav units. Of course, they don't replenish. But let's get them out of the plaza here, and then we'll charge in. There we go, with our bodyguard. And they shouldn't be long for this world, I think. Get our cavalry around the back. Alright, if we can get in here, get a nice route, then maybe we won't take any or many losses from the Elven Scouts. Fortunately, we are really close to the zone where we can retrain them. Yeah, we'll just end the battle here. Fantastic, clear victory. We only lost 6 elves. So Dale is down. That was one big obstacle sort of crossed off here. Dale does have a decent center of recruitment still left in the area, so we're definitely not done. And they've got some big armies around. But first we decide what we need to do with this place. I think we have to lay desolate. It feels a little bit like overkill, but I think that we can't just leave it. There's a lot of population here. They're unhappy with us, so let's do it. Let's make a little bit of money back. We've been spending a bit, and now that we've been at war with these Northmen, we haven't really had the chance to get our treasury back up where I like it. There is a lot of very well built up stuff in here as well. We'll get rid of all these things. And actually, we can keep this, the Advanced Tanneries and Wool Makers. That's going to be good for armor. Is that literally? Oh, the fantastic. So we can get good armor, an extra armor buff on all of our Elven units. How nice is that? As if we needed it, right? So we don't need the Dominion or the policy buildings though. And the trading posts. Okay, this is a Dale-specific building that we can delete because it's not doing anything for us. Of course, Dale itself is a chief city, so we can retrain mercenaries local to the region. That would be these Dale longbowmen mercenaries. May as well go ahead and do that. And we'll spend some money on retraining as many of these guys as seems reasonable to do. I think I'm going to prioritize archers, actually, because that armor is going to be nice with those return fire type scenarios. Let's see. We can't recruit anything at all, so we may as well keep up the training. And let's go with Sylvan Axes. Next turn, we'll just finish everybody. And if you're looking closely, you may notice that there is something a little unusual going on in Austin Ethel. Specifically, we've got plus 500% public order, and more importantly, we've got a population growth of plus 12.5. This is a result of our family member here doing his thing. So if we scroll down, we will see that he is indeed the rebuilder of Austin Ethel. This elf is of sufficient character and strength of vision to guide the rebuilding of Austin Ethel, attracting a great many settlers from nearby lands to turn these mournful ruins, once a thriving center of elven culture and learning, into a living city. This task will require many years of labor as well as the aid of the nearby dwarves and men. But so long as an elf of such might remains to steer its progress, Austin Ethel will once more arise as a testament to the undying spirit of the elves and the great works that can be done when there is friendship between folk of all races, even in the fourth age of Middle-earth. The process of upgrading Austin Ethel will halt while this character is absent, unless another worthy leader remains in his stead. As long as the dwarves hold Moria, the elves will be able to make full use of Austin Ethel, and in particular, the mithril that is mined nearby. So this trait increases population growth. Now, yeah, that's a feature that I had kind of forgotten, but someone mentioned it in the comments, that the dwarves do need to possess Moria, or Khazad-dûm, in order for you to make full use of the settlement and the mines here. So that's sort of an interesting and, I believe, unique feature in the mod that the game is somehow checking to see whether a particular faction owns a particular settlement, and then allows you, as a different faction, to do something in a different settlement. So it's rather complex. What's going to happen here, though, is the population is going to grow to the point where we can eventually upgrade it. We need to get the population to a certain point. It doesn't tell us what that is, but we will get an option here eventually. So great to see that working. We've got the right guy for the job. Well, here's a pleasant surprise. I was really thinking that when we were attacked at Old Ford, we would have both stacks to ward off simultaneously, but apparently not. We've got Hund of the House of Grim just a little bit too far away, I guess. And so he's not going to be joining Lieutenant Brunn, which means that this is going to be a cakewalk, I'm afraid. They can make all the rams they like. All these units are just not going to do well against what I have. Now, I don't have all that much, to be fair here. But we do have a couple of bodyguards. We've got Naldor swords and some archers. I think we'll do okay. So much like the siege defense of Fairfeld, I don't really see a lot of point in defending the walls. But in this case, we do have walls that we can park ranged units on. And the AI is not going to be attacking the walls themselves. They're just going to be punching holes. So we can stand up here, shoot down on them, and then when they pass through and try to go up towards the plaza where we're actually going to have our melee, we can bring some of these guys and maybe close the bag behind them, or at least shoot into their backs. We've got a mix here of elven bow types and mannish bows and skirmishers up on the walls, doing a lot of damage, I've got to say, against these Bjorning units. These are the lowest tier guys. Woodman axes are tier 1, and so we're hurting a lot of them already. Of course, all of these rams, or most of these rams, are going to get in. There's just so many of them, and we can't focus fire on any of these units. And look, they've got two right next to each other, so you know these guys are going to make it. But we're going to at least inflict really heavy casualties along the way. You can just see the stain of woodman corpses following this ram. Really lovely stuff. And far off, it looks like they've got their cavalry kind of back here in the woods. These are the units that are going to do the most damage. But again, we've got two bodyguards with spears up at the plaza here. We've got one of them in shield wall, like I like to have, or the main general here in the center, and then, of course, our Naldor swords. And then back, just in case something untoward happens, we've got a couple of units for the plaza. The Woodman Mercenary Axemen, mostly because I feel bad for these guys. Want them to survive as garrison units. And the Mariners, just because. A little bit of toughness there for the plaza. But we do also have some cav of our own. These Elven Scouts will just sneak around the side and just do a little bit of annoyance on the Bjornings here. We may, in fact, be able to rout both of these units before they can knock down the walls, assuming we don't get rushed by the cav. But yeah, we've done quite well here. The other advantage of this wall type is that it's very rare that the AI, when they assault, that they will come up and try to capture the walls. So you can pretty much leave your archers out here and not worry about them. It could be a problem if they shoot back. So there are some bows here that are aiming at, what are we aiming at? My mercenary bowmen. Okay, that's fine. You know, it would be nice to keep these guys, but they're far away from retraining, so that's just the way it's going to go. Okay, but here, yeah, let's charge home on these woodman axes. And we'll get those guys before they get in position. Maybe we can even take a couple of these units out. They're wavering already. Broken. Okay, great. Let's just keep going. Alright, so they're definitely going to get in through the gates. Charge them. What are the cav doing? Some of them are coming out of the woods. I think they're just going to go in through the gate. Alright, these woodman axes are shaken, wavering. They're holding back. Usually the AI does like to do this. They want to make a bunch of holes, get a bunch of guys into the city before committing their general or the main part of their army. Wavering, 26, 25. I'd rather not engage the spears. And I really don't want to get caught by the cav. But I imagine they're going to run. There we go. Let's come in this direction and quickly loop back around this way. And yes, we've got these woodman spears, but they're busy with a ram. They won't be too quick to turn around and face us if we charge them. Alright, now we've got some cav pursuing us. So that could be bad. Let's quickly see if we can do some damage to these spears and then get out of here. Alright, they're marching now. Spears are routing. Great, I think we want to go back into the gate. We should be able to do that before they catch us. Alright, we're safe. They're probably safe too. It doesn't look like they're taking any losses from the towers because they're being very, very smart about staying close to the wall. Alright, we're going to get a bunch of these interruptions as they bash through the walls. Here's another one. Pretty much everyone with a ram is breaking through at this point, but that may be all. Here comes all the cavalry. And most of our archers are out of arrows. This one down here didn't have a lot of targets to begin with, but he can now start turning around and shooting these guys in the back. And they're going to take tower fire. They're going to take arrow fire. Not going to go well for them. So hopefully these guys will just proceed straight up the central route here. If a bunch of cav turn around and go down here, we're going to have to rethink things. That could be kind of a problem. So, to avoid that, I'll bring my cav around here. And we can have our Greenwood Guards. I really like this unit. I like the idea of an archer with these nice two-handed axes. I like two-handed weapons. So, they may do some good work, too. If the cav commit, I'll risk bringing a lot of these archers down, but I don't want to bring him out too quick. Alright, so the general just moved in, the captain unit, and that is a sign that the main assault is coming. Let's push down the hill, actually. I'm feeling pretty good about this. They're being very tentative. Right, we're now out of arrows and probably getting shot by some archers. Yeah, it looks like we traded fire with these woodman bows. If these guys go up to the plaza, though, I think the units there Should have really no trouble taking care of them. Alright, let's just charge in. Charge this cav. And get them all stuck. We gave up some of our high ground, of course, but I think we're fine. We're already seeing some routing in the center. Very nice. A lot of those cav are just going away. Woodman bows are wavering in the face of our Noldor. Tried to get into a nice flanking position, but that's not going to work for them. They did get a shot off, but I don't think it did any damage. Our retainers are just really good. And again, this is one of the lowest tier armies of the Bjornings. But let's try to catch these axes here. We've got our Greenwood guards on that duty, and then, okay, we've got Woodman riders. Some of them coming back. There goes the general, though. Galadrim scouts are going to charge these cav. It may not go super well. We did take a casualty there. Alright, but we get them to rout again. I guess we do have to be a little concerned about tower fire. Some of these cav will come back, but yeah, look, the vast majority of the army is just going away. We're going to cut down these axemen. You call yourself axes. These are axes. Alright, I think that's just about it. We'll bring the scouts down to pretty much finish the job, chase off and shoot down any of the routers. And then just a couple of units here who are holding on just for a moment, but they'll be fleeing very quickly. Yeah, so although we won that glorious victory, the army that was hanging back has decided to step up and put us under siege yet again. So this is Hund of the House of Grimm, and he's leading, of course, a bodyguard group of Bjorning Guard, so they will be somewhat of a difficult unit to deal with. But really, otherwise, it's very similar to what we've seen so far. There are some war dogs in this one, so we'll have some fear things to watch out for, but it might be something I want to sally out from and deal with. Well, there's a lot of calves, the thing. Let's wait. We can afford to wait for them to attack us again. Hopefully they will try it soon. If it looks like they're going to time us out, then we will sally. But otherwise, in the Dale region, yeah, we've got some armies coming around showing an interest in taking back their territory. Well, I'm not interested in that, so let's see which way we want to go. We've got like 3 stacks here we need to clear out. You know, a lot of times, the best way to clear out an enemy stack is to besiege a settlement. Let's just get these guys all armored up like we mentioned, and then we will do that. We'll probably put Esgaroth under siege and call one of these big armies to face us. Although, yeah, we do have a small army headed towards Emendwyr or the Elven King's Halls. In this one, we've got Threshold troops. In this one, we've got Greenwood bows, and that's it. So these places are actually kind of vulnerable, so we need to do something else. Because, yeah, I need to do a few different things. I really want to hold on to Dale. This is a great settlement, and I don't want these guys to get it back. But at the same time, I really don't want to lose any of these places, so I need to use one of these 2 armies to do that. Either this one or the one that's currently sieged in Old Ford. And this one probably is the way to go. So I think what we'll do is this. We're going to do a sally. Well, we're certainly taunting them at this point. We've got our Noldor scouts out here as they're desperately trying to reposition, just shooting down their cavalry. But they don't want to engage. They'll sort of move towards us and then run back away. And we're bringing our other melee and archer units out of the settlement as well. They may retreat yet. Sometimes the AI does this, where they will besiege, they'll stick around, you'll sally, but then they will withdraw once they see you forming up in decent order outside of the walls. So let's get back to that order of business. We want to, of course, get our Noldor and bodyguard units ready. Let's keep these Greenwood guards back. I don't know why they're rushing out so fast. Probably gave them an order at some point. And yeah, let's just go straight forward here. We've got a ton of woodman axes, a ton of these other units. Let's actually get our bodyguards over to the flanks, and the woodmen, or the Noldor, can go right for the center here, along with the mariners. Our archers should be doing damage from back far enough. Cav looks like they do want to engage my elven scouts. I'd rather drag them around in front of some towers first, to be honest. All of our elven bows are firing. They may catch us, but we're shooting as we go, so that's all good. It looks like we've got the general now, the Bjorning Guard in melee, and some of these units are just leaving. All right, we're taking some losses. They did catch us over by the wall, and they're winning. Oh, that's sad. We've still got arrows. We're still going to shoot him down. We will get these guys. Let's see, what are we doing here? Let's just rout them all as much as we possibly can. These are, again, a very, very low tier army overall. The Bjorning Guard are, of course, a big problem. Losing slightly, but 38 men. But I want to get rid of the numbers here, because numbers are one of the big problems we're facing. Just these large armies, and we can't move to address all of the threats. Let's see, Bjorning Guard are down to 14. Naldor and Mariners. That could be a bit of a problem with the Mariners. Oh, the Naldor took care of him with a sword to the back. Great stuff. Okay, and that should be the last bit of that host. There goes Hund of the House of Grimm. Well, we didn't manage to eliminate the army completely, but that is a quite good start, I would say. It would be awesome if we could just move south with this army inside Old Ford and take Grimhold next and then take Langwyck, but it's not going to be the case. We really need to address now the larger threat, which is Dale, moving under the western eaves of Mirkwood. And it's even more of a problem because I need to leave a lot of men behind in Old Ford in order to deal with the public order issues. That's all of the men that are required to get this just to 70% public order, and that would leave this for my force turning north. I do think, though, that this is probably the way to go. We have some of my retrained Eriador Rider Mercs coming to help out, and I think if we can get some of these guys before they team up together, like this Lieutenant Galm, we can get up back into the woods and maybe get something happening. Let's see. Well, so this is the fight that's coming up next. We've got a smallish fight between 217 elves versus 403 men, and those men do have some longbows. We've got archers of our own, of course, and we've got our own spearmen, and just all around better units, so I think we're going to do just fine here. But the main thing is to deal with all of these little stacks, probably rebuild a fort, actually, just to delay them, and so we'll know when these armies try to move into our territory. But again, I think this is going to wait for the next episode, folks. Now, I may not show every single one of these fights. We've got a lot of these little cleaning up operations to do, but we'll show enough to get a sense of how the campaign is progressing. And of course, around Dale, we've got to resolve these 3-ish stacks that are clustered around the region. We could quickly capture a couple of settlements, though, and that's going to be the plan for the next few episodes, to take the heat off of us and establish a pretty strong position here in the far northeast. I hope you join me for that, and until the next one, everybody, take care.